cut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Saying that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know WCS back in the building. What's good? Big Blunts and Boxing on deck. What it do, man? I see you. Salute to you. Hey, man, it must be the holiday season. That's all I can say. If you got a notification, praise the Most High. You know what I'm saying? They allowed me to have some notifications go out. You know, probably because it's about Jake Paul. To be honest with you, it's probably because it's Jake Paul. They're trying to get as much exposure as possible. Optimization. That's what they want to do. You know, but hey, this is gonna be one of those live streams that take us back a little bit. You know, we're gonna talk about some FYIs for those of you that, you know, really don't dive back that far or care to go back in the timeline. Most of what I see to this day is all about the gossip. You got cats that's sitting up here, you know, just picking old freaking problems they had with somebody just to talk about. I mean, hey, we have a state of boredom right now when it comes to what we're talking about at boxing. But but most of all, boxing is showing a different face of embarrassment, y'all. Boxing is absolutely showing the wrong side of what the sport's supposed to be representing right now. We have a Vine star called Jake Paul. They're saying he's the great white hope, y'all. Look, a lot of y'all don't know what the Great White Hope was, but it deals back to the early 1900s when Jack Johnson was heavyweight champion and James Jeffrey was the former heavyweight champion, undefeated, 19 victories, 0 defeats. And they said, hey, what you got going on there, James? How about you come down here to the station? We just want to talk to you. We got a nice little gift for you. Or you just want to talk some business. What you been up to? I know you like going out there hunting and everything. You in pretty decent shape. Yeah, come on down here to the office and we just want to talk to you right quick. Hey, thanks for showing up. Hey, we got a nice little bag for you. We're just trying to get something handled right quick. We don't like what we're seeing. That goddamn Negro Jack Johnson is heavyweight champion. There's only one heavyweight champion where I'm from. That's James Jeffries. You understand me, James? So what we want you to do is go show that Jack Johnson that you are the last man standing. You understand me, James? I understand you've been retired for 6 years, but you're the man that can do it because you was undefeated. We got your back on everything there, James. Just help us out. We got to make boxing great again. Go get that title from off and around that Negro's waist. You understand me, Jack? Huh? You understand me, Jack? You know how when we was growing up, you know how this, hey, and that's a fact, Jack. They used to call everybody Jack. Hey, Jack, what you doing, Jack? But some of y'all didn't get the wordplay, but whatever. James, you know, we just need you to do us this one favor, and we're going to pay you handsomely. We're going to make sure your pockets are very swole, and you got enough to take home to the lovely wife. You can go back in retirement and buy that goddamn property, them 20 acres that you always wanted. You know what I'm saying? We don't have enough for the 400 acres, but we got enough for 20. All you gotta do is go in there and beat that Jack Johnson. Now he up here dating our women. He up there just disrespecting everything we don't work so hard for. Can you do that for us, James? All right. All right. See you at the ring. So they had to call. They had to call up, in 2024. They had to call up for a private chat. And they in here talking about Jake Paul doing numbers on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? They boasting this man up to the high heavens. Look, they are comparing this man to the real fighters. And from the people that I've spoken to about the Netflix, they was talking about it was continuous buffering, pausing and stuff like that. And look, and their argument was simply that Netflix wasn't expecting the amount of viewers that came in there to view this fight. That's why they was pretty much almost crashing Netflix. That just goes to show you sometimes it's not good for you to check the box on certain things unless you know you're properly prepared. Like the P's I always talk about. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. But that's not even talking about Netflix. But Netflix was pretty much bombarded with viewers that wanted to see this fight go down. And the main star of attraction was a Vine star named Jake Paul. Now, how dare me get on here and co-sign this bandwagon like so many fighters have done? If those of you that followed me, right, you notice you have heard me say back in the day, I called them the Goofball brothers. But then I had to really think about and assess my words and say, you know what, they're really doing some good things for the sport. All right, I did say that. I'm on record as saying that. But peep this out though. Them coming from a Vines, their parents being affluent and everything, they have made strides, long strides, to come over here to this sport. But what I see going on is that there's no standard when it comes to Jake Paul. All people are looking at is who's on this fight card, where are they fighting, so they can tune in. They have absolutely enabled this Vine star to be considered one of the biggest stars in boxing. This is for the casuals. Yes, I'm calling you casuals because I have to stamp you with that when you're not holding him accountable as if you do all the legitimate fighters. You're looking more so for animation and cartoons. You know what I'm saying? Something of entertainment value that's not really real. Like, when you on the cartoons and they fall from a building and they fall and fall and fall and then they hit the ground, they get back up and freaking walk. They hold Jake Paul to that kind of standard, which is no standard. They like shit to seem like it's real, but it ain't. They don't hold this man to any strict drug testing criticism. They don't even mention it, y'all. You know how many weeks went by when Ryan Garcia tested positive for Ostarine? Do you know how many live streams when they was up here saying Ryan cheated? Do y'all remember how many man hours was exhausted talking about Ostarine? Ostarine, y'all. They was busy up here talking about Ostarine. But when Jake Paul fights, nobody talks about anything. What about the real fighters who I've also been a part of this, how we scrutinize their resume? I mean, I'm talking about we scrutinize it all the way down from start to finish, and we give you the pros and cons of who we feel that's deemed to be quality. Do you understand what I'm saying? Who we deem to be quality, yo. No one consistently across the board. I have I've spoken on it. But all they want to do is talk about Netflix. I never seen so many people with a handful of testicles on this YTC shit with Diddy oil. I'm talking about Diddy oil all over the place. They're not even putting it on Jake Paul freaking testicles. They put it on themselves. They want to know what it feels like while they playing the song in the background. Oh, what a feeling. What a feeling. Yeah, they on some other weird, strange type of stuff with this Jake Paul bandwagon. Let's be understanding of one another. I'm not trying to have smoke with anyone that's a Jake Paul fan. I'm not. He's putting money in fighters' pockets, okay? But if you're going to praise and stamp that as approval, don't get on here trying to act like you're a hardcore boxing head when it comes to other fighters when they miss weight, lose the title or something on the scales. When they do something outside and violate the policies, you know what I'm saying? Like Keyshawn tested positive for marijuana. Oh my God. You know, if these fighters are in violation, you shouldn't say anything. No one should say anything else because Jake Paul is a licensed fighter who you all are praising. I mean, the praise doesn't get no higher. You all are basically putting so much praise and glory out there with Jake Paul that you're trying to rebel him to a championship fight. And the crazy part about it, when WCS was telling y'all that boxing is a part of the system, no one person run the system. So you're going to get some out of control chaos, just as we're seeing right now. You're going to experience that. It's going down right now as we see it. Boxing fans are so bored that they've gotten extremely complacent just to support anything that gets them a little perky, just to go in here and say some dumb shit. I guarantee you majority, like 80, I would say 89% of these cats that's on YTC, when they have a conversation outside of the YTC and somebody really asks them, hey, bro, you think Jake Paul really, sit up there and beat Mike Tyson? You think that was a real fight, start to finish? They said, man, no. But check this out. I'm not going to tell them in the YTC that. I'm just gonna say no. Me and you chopping it up. I ain't gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? Subs, views. That's what I'm looking at. And them goddamn super chats. That's what I want. But to you, no, man, you can see it. You can see it. You know how you can see it? Because there's so much footage out there that proves it. So in case y'all didn't get that, the commentary was pretty much saying that Jake Paul whispered in Tyson's ear to say, cool down. Now, if you really pay attention to boxing, especially the Paul brothers, you would know this is the same thing that Logan told Floyd Mayweather. Logan Paul had to tell Floyd after him trying to knock Floyd Mayweather out. And Floyd said, okay, you want to play that game? I got them show you what real boxing is about. And Floyd started taking it to Logan Paul. And Logan Paul is on record as saying, hey, dude, cool down, calm down, take it easy. I look back at that fight. I say, no, Mike had a lot more left than just bowing out early in the fight when he did. He could have used a lot more. Like his punches for 58 years old was lineal. His shit was punctual. The appointment was there. But Jake Paul had to tell him, hey, cool down, let me shine. I'm the one giving you the 20 mil, cool down. It was all for entertainment value. Even Jake Paul picked up the luggage and checked that shit in the 8th round. He carried Tyson because Tyson was pretty much, I wouldn't say he was ordered, but the agreement was, you know what I'm saying? The agreement was, they kind of had some special rules, and Jake probably felt the power of Mike. And he said, shit, if I don't tell him to cool down, you know what I'm saying? This cat gonna end up knocking me the fuck out. And then I can't become the great white hope. That was the whole deal. You know what I'm saying? He can't become the great white hope. He can't become James Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? Even though there's totally two different situations and everything I'm talking about. But you have individuals that's highlighting Jake Paul in the sport of boxing strictly for his finances and not what he's doing inside the ring with his performances. Finances, performances. We have individuals that's ignoring the performances, all and looking at the finances and the numbers for which they're not getting a penny. All they're doing is talking about 60, 65 million Netflix, 65 million Netflix. But I can see if you won 60 million off the fight. But as I stroll through the social media, I'm seeing people tearing up their TVs. And this is close to Christmas too now. I'm seeing people throw objects at their televisions because they lost money on Mike Tyson losing. I mean, now we can agree this might have been temporaries. Individuals that dip their head into boxing sooner or later, and then they come back sooner or later. And, they just dip in and dip out. They really don't stay there long enough to know what's going on. For them to throw objects at their flat screens, to totally break it up and everything snatches off the wall because they felt that Mike Tyson was going to freaking beat Jake Paul. Now, I'm saying in a real boxing match, let's just say Mike wasn't getting money from Jake Paul like that. This wasn't MVP Promotions. Do I believe at 58 Mike could have been more competitive? I believe so. I'm going to be honest. I believe he could have been more competitive. Stickum Boys Fishing and Sports. What's good? Eclipse 330 in the building. What's good with your square? How you feeling? Let's keep letting them keep hyping up Jake Paul until he gets in there with the real fighter that's not past the prime. Good point. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that, man. Jake versus Makabu, the tumble in the jungle. We're gonna talk about that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Carlos Takam and Ward Chisora both deserve a Jake payday. No, I disagree. Shout out to the news by Shaw News Sauce Experience. Team Tucker official in the building. What's good with it, bro? Not to me. Carlos Takam. Why do they deserve a Jake Paul payday? They have multiple losses. That means they have been eating. They have absolutely been in fight camp and they have been eating. Carlos Takam has been in there with some big names. Derek Chisora been in there with some big names. You know what I'm saying? Chisora has been in there with the likes of Fury, Usyk. Two of the world champions of this era. Takam has been in there. I think he's been in there with Fury, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that right quick. The reason why I put the Great White Hype up there, right? I don't think Carlos Takam been in there with Fury. Yeah, he hasn't been in there with Fury. But he has been in there with Anthony Joshua. That's what I meant to say. Anthony Joshua. Carlos Takam's been in there with the champions. So, to get back to the topic, this is the way I look at it. With everybody who seems to be on a freaking paraglider, you know what I'm saying? With those big ass mountains staring you in the face, you all have selected to ignore all the criticism and the criteria for that criticism that you give other fighters who's up here in the ranking systems. Once again, fighters who are in the ranking systems. You choose to ignore those fighters like Jake Paul who aren't in the ranking systems, but yet you're saying he has money behind him. So he gets put to the side. He gets the therapeutic exemption from the Jake Paul testicle grabbers. You know what I'm saying? Diddy oil massagers. They have came. I never seen so many freaking sack masseuses in the YTC like I've seen. It's been an outbreak, yo. It's been an outbreak so bad that they're up here saying, "Oh man, Jake Paul's the face of boxing." You're not putting the Diddy oil on your body. You're drinking it. You're drinking it because he's not even fighting worthy opponents. The same way you criticize the top ranking fighters that's out there, you're not doing that for Jake Paul. You all not even questioning drug tests when this guy get in the ring. But yet, y'all want to have a whole long-standing Victor Conte freaking revival and shit. You want to have Victor Conte on. Explain to me what you went to prison for, okay? Why are you here on boxing? What have you did to change the drug testing in boxing? So you're saying it is a way that it can be non-detected, right? Oh, okay. How many ranked boxers do you believe this, on the gear? Let me ask you a hard question. Why haven't I heard Victor Conte mention anything about Jake Paul fights? Has anybody heard Victor Conte mention anything about Jake Paul fights? Or he can put on a whole boxing card. People treat it as a boxing card with the main event being modified rules, y'all. And they don't even say anything about drug testing. And you have real fights. You have it on Netflix. And nobody's even saying nothing about drug testing. They're up here talking about who should Jake Paul fight next. You know what I'm saying? And you idiots up here get mad and say that I'm hating. I don't have time to babysit no fools. You know goddamn well y'all giving Jake Paul a pass that you don't give other fighters that's out there in the rankings. Fighters who are fighting to be in the rankings. Y'all not giving, come on, bro. You're not even mentioning because y'all busy trying to kiss their ass to be next to something that you deem special because you bored with boxing. There's a lot of changes that's going on. They see the Turkey Al-Sheikh situation. A lot of changes. It's a lot of ass kissing going on. I'm talking about so much to the point where they're getting intoxicated when they leave these fights from kissing so much ass. They look, you got cats in there going behind the scene begging Turkey Al-Sheikh, to try to be in his good graces so they can get, over there to Saudi. How can I get in the inner circles, your majesty, your excellency, your honor, sir? How can I be in your good graces? I'm on my knees praying. Can I be on your list? I love Saudi. I always wanted to come over there. I always wanted to buy property in Saudi. You have so much ass kissing that these cats are intoxicated. They're willing to push every bit of media they can on Saudi because they feel like that's a dream that's achievable now in a sport that they love so much. Man, these cats done sold the fuck out, bro. I mean, some of the cats that I would give credit for knowing the sport. I'm not saying they don't know the sport no more. I'm just putting it out there that they're willing to just forget about how did they get to this point. How people respected them in knowing boxing. But yet now they're co-signing and they are accepting, obviously, what's right in front of their face. They're accepting the theatrics. They're accepting to be in the circus. They're basically lowering and discarding shit that we hold other fighters accountable for just because it's Jake Paul. They want him to be the great white hope, the one who saved boxing, right? Y'all remember back then, right? The Galveston Giant. Y'all remember this, right? Jack Johnson. Y'all remember who Jack Johnson was? He has a record of 53 victories, 11 defeats, 8 draws, 33 coming by way of knockouts, right? The fight that he had with James Jeffrey back in July 4th, 1910. Y'all remember that? How they went out there and grabbed Jeffries, who has been out of the sport for like 5.5+ years, right? And they go get him. And they say, we want you to go up here and defeat this heavyweight champion, this Negro Jack Johnson, and get him off that pedestal. We tired of hearing his name. He up there sleeping with all white snow bunnies. Go get him, James. We're going to make it worth your while. See, the one thing about James Jeffrey, he was a legitimate heavyweight champion. Legitimate. This is let me also brief you on some information back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Man, you know, the rounds, they was fighting crazy around 15, 20, 25. They was wearing like 4-ounce gloves in certain fights. You know what I'm saying? Certain fights was like, hey, if a fighter is still standing, nobody wins. They had different types of rules back then. They had different types of rules, yo. When Jack Johnson fought James Jeffrey, they built the first venue. They built up a venue for this fight. It was so grand back then. We're talking about a heavyweight champion, former heavyweight champion that was undefeated and retired. They brought that man out of retirement. Somewhat like how Eddie Hearns went out there and grabbed Vladimir Klitschko. Even though it's not the same, he wasn't undefeated, and you know they wasn't out here to dethrone the Nigerian Negro Anthony Joshua. You know, they just went out there in retirement and grabbed James Jeffrey to come back and beat Jack Johnson. And look, for him to be out the ring 5.5+ years, you know how long that fight was scheduled? They was gonna make sure the white fighter James Jeffrey, the great white hope, had enough time to disperse of Jack Johnson. And look, Jack Johnson already had 5 losses up to this point now. Jack got him up out of there in 15 rounds in the scheduled 45-round fight. Yeah, you heard it. 45-round fight. 45 rounds. They wanted to make sure James Jeffrey had enough time to recover. And Jack Johnson got him up out of there in 15. Is you know the term as we use it today for fun somewhat similar when we speak about it in reflection of Jack Johnson and James Jeffrey? Hell, no, it's not even close. We're talking about 2 legitimate champions. But this is where I have an issue. You have legitimate fighters begging for Jake Paul to recognize them. I will say, oh my God. What do we have here? Daniel Dubois sends out a tweet and says, hi, Jake. Good business on the weekend, but how would you feel fighting for the legitimate heavyweight championship of the world? This is Daniel Dubois calling you out. Let's get it on. Now, knowing how stale Daniel Dubois' trash talking game is, that's Daniel Dubois. That's nobody else. That's Dubois. That's not nobody on his team. That's him. He said, this is Daniel Dubois. Even though the account tells you this is coming from Daniel Dubois with a check mark. He said, this is Daniel Dubois calling you out. Let's get it on. And you know what Jake Paul did? Told him to get in line and show him a ticket dispenser. God damn. Show him a ticket dispenser, yo. No respect. No respect. That's what you get for being desperate. Oh, he ain't the only one. Arthur Beterbiev has called him out. And then the one of all, he's not the last one. But when I seen this, I say, oh no. I don't want to see you in that predicament. You have a legacy that a lot of people look at Andre Ward's legacy to be able to retire and go off into the sunset unblemished. Gold medal Olympian, respected in the sport. Bishop. You know what I'm saying? Hey, a lot of respect there for Andre Ward. But Ward, if you go into that fight with Jake Paul, and it's a sanctioned fight, and we see some shit that we know goddamn well that's a bit scripted, it's going to tear your whole legacy to shred, bro. Like slipping in your motherfucking Sunday shoes, man, on American pavement. It ain't no recovery from that shit. It got a hole in there forever. You got to throw them trousers away. And on top of that, the boxing community have a certain level of respect for you, Andre. But people, Andre is pretty much pleading for Jake Paul to call his name so he can be the next ticket up. Do you know what's going on? You have real fighters that's trying to go ahead. Did y'all not see what happened to Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou, a former UFC heavyweight champion, earned $30 million in 2 fights. He went in there and went the distance with Tyson Fury, a current reigning defending WBC heavyweight champion at the time. He goes in there and gets the publicity that they did. Oh, this is all boxing. Boxing is a business. It's for show and entertainment, right? In some cases, right? It has the F word in there fixed. P word predetermined. S word scripted. We've seen all this take place in the sport of boxing because it's internal to a system, right? So when I'm saying to myself, how will the boxing fans look at this if we see something play out and it's just not right and you take a L against Jake Paul? You've been out the ring since I don't know how long there, Andre Ward. We've seen Francis Ngannou, 20 million, take a right hand to the chin. Just took it flush on the chin for $20 million. He is 0-2 as a boxer. But the fact that he was able to go in there and fight 2 former world champions back to back, unfucking believable. And you know, with that said, with him being able to fight 2 champions with an 0-0 record, he didn't make as much as Conor McGregor did in that one fight with Floyd. But goddamn it, he's living pretty damn good. And that is why we have what we have right now. The boxing fans, a large percentage of the casuals, they don't have no dignity or respect for the sport. They willing to get along, to ride along, to go along. And that's what you're seeing with the Jake Paul situation. It's all about money. Fuck the quality. Fuck the integrity of it. You're seeing right now a sport that has been on the cliff for a while. You know what I'm saying? This is what they call it, lakefront property. Boxing has been on the lakefront for a while, and now these storms are rolling in, and boxing was struggling for a good time, especially in the pandemic. And now we had a foreign savior come over here and say, I want to dibble and dabble in the sport. I want to make some changes. And we see things being removed, revised right in front of our face. And also we seeing these individuals that know boxing, they have sit there and complain about the problems boxing has. The best not fighting the best. You heard this shit over and over again, right? Now they don't care about that shit if it's Jake Paul. They're looking at Jake Paul as the great white savior. He don't have to abide by the rules that they hold other fighters accountable for. And what did WCS tell you? I said I had an issue with the Paul brothers when they came in here until I started asking real fighters. And you know what the real fighters told me? They didn't fucking care. He getting money. He bringing money he getting money. Oh, so you don't look. Let me get this straight. So you don't care that a fighter like Jake Paul, who has a license, okay, who's being able to circumvent a situation that you have been walking heel to toe, left, right, low, right, left, right, low, left foot, right, low, right. You're marching your whole career. You're trying to get win after win after win after win and get the championship fight and all that shit. You have been walking a straight line, as they call it, keeping your nose clean, trying to do everything you need to do in boxing. You're making sure that you piss in that motherfucking cup. But here goes a fighter like Jake Paul. Yes, I call him a fighter because y'all consider him a fighter, right? He's going to him making way more money than y'all, and you all have put in amateur hours. Y'all put in amateur. I'm going the amateur route. I'm going to the Olympics. Shit, Jake Paul say, I'm going to close my laptop. I've did everything I can do in the Vine area. It's pretty much phased out now. I'm about to take it to another level. What you want to do, Logan? Hey, man, let's try boxing. Nobody's really controlling the shit. Man, we can get in there and treat it just like Vine's video. But just tighten it up a little bit. Be a little bit more serious, man. Jake say, hey, Logan, you know you're right. Let's go make some money on boxing. Everybody else does. So the Paul brothers come in here. They get the sponsorships. They have the backing, and they're able to get these finances together, people who support them. And I always tell you, I don't care about the money and stuff like that with them. But it's just the money that Jake Paul has made. Suppose he made $40 million fighting 58-year-old Mike Tyson, right? A lot of boxers would never see $40 million in their career. So now you desperately see legitimate Olympic pedigree, notable fighters want to either be on Jake Paul's card. I can imagine what's on the conversation behind the scenes. Please, Daddy Jake, please get my fighter on your card. You're doing incredible. We love you. We love y'all. My kids used to look at y'all doing some Vine back in the day. We used to laugh. No, they're so funny. They are so funny. Come on, man. Let's go back to the Jake Paul back in the Vine days. What a cool guy. Look at that guy. This guy just fought one of your favorite heavyweights. That guy right there. Come on, man. He's cool, dude. Come on, man. Who would have thought? No amateur experience. We got people going to the amateurs tournament day in and day out. Oh, I got a tournament next week. I got a tournament. Roll time. Exit. Oh, stop over there, Burger King. Give me a Whopper. Yeah, and fry and a drink. Oh, stop at Wendy's. Roll time. Tournament. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, you know the deal. Not for Jake Paul, though. Not for Jake Paul. Jake Paul coming again. Jake Paul coming in the game, goddamn fighting another content creator. His brother Logan was the real deal, who they was betting on. Logan said, "You know what? I did what I had to do. I went in here. I lost to KSI. Look, check this out. And WCS did a live on this shit back in the day, right? He lost the freaking KSI, but motherfuckers tuned in, right? Because they was fucking bored. These cats didn't have no boxing skills. These are a star Vine creators back in the day, Vine stars, right? Then he goes in there, and I don't know if he rematched KSI or whatever, but Logan was the big name out of the Paul brothers, while Jake was there fighting Glib, and freaking Nate Robinson, and then Ben Askren and shit like that. That's later on. But then Logan Paul had the opportunity to fight Floyd Mayweather down in Florida. And then he went over to World Wrestling Entertainment, and he's been going forward ever since. And it's good to see, because wrestling entertainment, it is what it is. The structure is different over there at wrestling entertainment than it is boxing, though. I mean, it's pretty much, want to say, choreographed. The motherfuckers go through a rigorous training. I like wrestling entertainment, but when it comes to boxing, though, you're not doing play boxing over here. That shit is for real. But I feel like when it comes down to the money and what we are experiencing with Jake Paul, people are taking it easy on him. He's doing real shit. He's getting paid as a real fighter without the real restrictions. Y'all just letting this dude get exemption after exemption after exemption. This dude is making millions of dollars, and y'all don't even care if they're not getting tested. You're not even asking question as how he putting on all that weight. Okay. Andre Ward calls him out, right? You're saying to yourself, wow, you got Daniel Dubois, Andre Ward, now another champion, Arthur Beterbiev. He wants to fight Jake Paul. All three of these fighters, 2 out of the 3, and that's not the only one. People throwing Canelo's name in there. But 2 out of the 3 of these fighters I mentioned, right? Dubois, Andre Ward, and Beterbiev. Of course, Beterbiev and Dubois are current reigning champions, legitimate fighters. Andre Ward is retired. He's retired. And look, anybody in their right mind and say, you know what? Andre Ward still looks young enough to come in there. Mike just did it at 58, went 8 rounds, modified 2 minutes apiece. Andre can go in there and do it. But it's hard to imagine if Jake Paul is the promoter and the main event, how many of those fights will have legitimate, genuine, organic results? Anybody tell me that shit. Jake Paul is the promoter and the main event, and you're trying to tell me the money that he's putting out to his opponent? His opponent's not in the B side. His opponent is the side, the other side. And you're trying to tell me that you all are showing this man mad love like these fights ain't scripted? Like Tyron Woodley didn't take the same motherfucking payout that Francis Ngannou took getting knocked out by Joshua? Please. Nobody ain't never knocked out Tyron Woodley like that in the UFC. The only time he ever got knocked down in his fucking career like that, when he was doing mixed martial arts, was by Nate Marquardt. And that was in a whole nother promotion. Yes, I follow that MMA shit. Yeah. But y'all know where I'm at with it, right? Let me go over here to the chat right quick. They don't want to tune in. They a lot of these cats, they just want to pay attention to the chatter, the chitter chatter. You know what I'm saying? The gossip and shit. Dogging out other fighters. You know what I'm saying? I have fun every now and then, but just to damn do this shit every day, talking shit about other fighters, I got other shit to do. Shout out to the boxing queen Jessica in the building. I hear you. What's good with it, Jessica? Blunt say Ike Ibuchi is the only old that deserves a Jake payday. Now, I don't know about deserve. The reason why I'm gonna say that, Blunts, this all I'm saying. I know where you're going at. Dude been locked up several times. He need the money. I get it. But a lot of that was due to self-infliction. I can see if he been screwed over and he just never got the shot. I mean, he just never got the shot. But this dude went to prison undefeated. Got out and went back in that motherfucker. Got out and went back in that motherfucker. You see me? Now you don't. You see me? And now you don't. I mean, it'll be good, but who knows Ike Ibuchi? You got the real boxing heads that won't even acknowledge saying that Ike has a fight coming up. They don't care. I mean, you're talking about one of the most dangerous heavyweights. Dude was a hitter. But ain't nobody talking about it, bro. I don't think he deserves a shot with Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, how much he should get fighting Jake Paul? I mean, it's the real social media fans, you know, the casual fans. Are they gonna look at Ike Ibuchi and say, huh? Who is this? They start speaking a whole nother language on your ass. Mama, who that? Who that? What Jake Paul? Ike Uesushi? Is he black Japanese daddy? His name is Utachi Kuchuchi. Is Ayakuchi? What is his name again? Where did he come from? Is he a boxer? I mean, Ike Ibuchi is in his 50s now. We know who he is. But to the modern day fans, they have no idea. And right now, Jake Paul is trying to get names that's suitable to bring the consumers to the Netflix special and damn near crash the motherfucker. That's what they tried to do. Jake Paul is all about the money. Like I said, for Jake Paul, making money, make as much money as you want, man. You're talented. You live a totally different lifestyle than I ever will. I ain't mad at you for making the money. My gripe is how the community, a partial set of community that consider themselves to be all hardcore and they fancy talking that real boxing shit, but you supporting carnival activity. You're supporting the open freaking positions. Oh, do you have a position? Okay. What color suit? Are you gonna give me lime green? Yeah, with red and highlight orange, neon orange, pink. Yeah, with the shoes. Oh, great. Y'all all about being the clowns that's supporting, not holding him accountable for some of the same shit that you're sitting up here dogging out the real fighters for. Just say, hey, just go up here and don't dog them out no more. Don't dog out the real fighters for doing shit. When Ryan Garcia, when they got the news that he's fighting in Japan, y'all cats want to sit up here and talk about, oh, he's suspended. Why would he want to go fight? Y'all didn't say shit about Jake Paul, man. Where's the drug test? Even for Mike. Did Mike get tested? But y'all talking about how much money they did, how much money they got paid. So money over everything, right? So if it's money over everything, shut the fuck up about these real fighters who's going out here, going through training camp and going in there risking their lives when you want to go watch a scripted fight and get on here and brag about it. Problem is Turkey ain't stupid. He only trying to make the biggest fights. See, Turkey Al-Sheikh is pretty much, he has the money, but he ain't the one boxing. You know what I'm saying? That Sickum boy, Turkey ain't boxing. Turkey ain't trying to set up a fight with big names like Daniel Dubois and say, oh, I challenge you, Daniel, to a fight in Riyadh season against me, the Turk. He's not trying to go in there and fight Daniel Dubois, and Dubois goes in there and lays down in 3 rounds just to get a good $30 million. Turki Al-Sheikh is putting on these fights for fighters, like you said, the biggest fights. He's putting on, he's put on fights already where the big names have been laid to waste, so to speak. And now you have a somewhat of a breeze that's coming over there. I'm talking about an airborne virus because people are getting sick and they say, "Oh man, that was my favorite fighter, but he just got his ass kicked." But you said you wanted the best to fight the best, and Turkey is putting on those fights, right? But he's not fighting. Jake Paul is a co-founder of MVP Promotion. He's fighting on the fucking card, and he's the main event. And people had the audacity, the clownsmanship to believe that Mike Tyson was going to beat Jake Paul. Come on now. Y'all up here looking like Orlando Brown, goddammit. Y'all looking like Orlando Brown up in this bitch. Shout out to Samar Warren on that. Peace and blessings, beloved. Salute WCS. Certified, stamp the like button and support the grind. I appreciate you, bro. Hope all has been well. Blue Hustle in the building. What's good with it, Blue? Since Blue came on deck, I'm gonna drop the link for a minute. You know what I'm saying? If anyone want to come up here and try to help me understand and give me your take, am I just over the top with the Vine star himself? When most of, like I said, the money is the money. He made his money, right? But I'm speaking about the element. Don't y'all have the freaking the frayed standard operating procedures, the SOP of boxing that y'all been using all these years, saying the same shit, trying to sit up here and look, they up here been losing friendship. They've been severing freaking communication with who they consider their colleagues on the YTC, all because of the debates they've been having on real fighters. But y'all seem to be in harmony when it's Jake Paul, because he's allowing fighters to get paid. You know what I'm saying? He's allowing fighters to get paid, y'all. Y'all in love with that shit. What is it, Blue? Building.
What up with your boss? What up with your boss, man? Hey, listen. That shit is really scripted because um um Floyd Schofield Sr. he put it on blast on Neil Cities about because he had a contract with Jake Paul, one of Jake Paul's fighters, and he said he backed out of it because they basically told him that they can't even knock the fighter out. They have to like hold him up and shit. He was like, man, that's just some bullshit. So yeah, that shit is scripted though, man. It was just as soon as he said that, I knew automatically it was a payday because that's what I said on Mill City.
Hey, I heard Mike Tyson couldn't throw no uppercuts, and if you look, I put a short vid up here. If you look at this short vid, right?
Yeah.
You don't see any uppercuts.
Nope.
You see straights, you see hooks, but none of that hook to the body comes straight up the middle with that uppercut.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when Jake Paul told him, "Hey man, chill, calm down. Let me look a little bit." You know what I'm saying? Look at Mike. Mike, 2 left feet now. He's seeing that punch from a mile away, dog.
Yeah, he could have easily got out the way, and that's why I said, you know, I totally agree with you when you're basically saying that, you know, it's scripted and it's sad because we as the fans aren't truly showing that we're true fans. We're basically allowing this to happen when it needs to stop, man. It's horrendous. You know what I'm saying? On how people like how Jake Paul and I commend him. He's making his money, like, you know, he's making his money. But at the same token, nobody's sitting there holding him to the same criteria, and we do hold the fighters at a higher criteria, and we're not holding him. We don't hold him at that same high criteria, and we're paying him more money than we're paying the other fighters.
Yeah.
You see, he's not we're paying, but he's getting more money than the other fighters, and that's like crazy because he hasn't done the footwork. He hasn't been in there doing what it do. He just basically came out of nowhere and said, let me pick this up and let's see where it goes from here. You could do it, I could do it. Fuck it. And he knows what he's doing.
And then they always, you got cats out here that's always going to reference Conor McGregor, who came over here and fought Floyd. And they say Conor McGregor made way more money than probably Jake Paul would ever make in one fight with Floyd.
Yeah,
but
to
be honest with you, Conor McGregor was a 2-division champion in the UFC, which is considered a legitimate promotion, legit promotion. See, with Jake Paul is fighting over the heel fighters, and people out here talking about just him making money. They're talking about him fighting somebody like Canelo, who has over 65 plus fights. But you're talking about Jake Paul going in there fighting Canelo for big money for a potential championship. You want to give Jake Paul a world championship all because he's making money. So leave everything else alone. If you don't have no integrity for the sport, all that other criteria don't matter. Stop acting like it does when it comes to the real fighters. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's a fact. I'm with you. Because it's disgusting, man. We pick and choose our battles, and basically when we're picking and choosing our battles, we're not really being accountable of what's really going on. We're just letting it go. It's like we're making the money when we're not. We're acting like we're in their shoes. We're not even in their shoes. We just voicing our opinion, and I just feel like just be a real fan, man. That's gonna understand where that these fighters that we're talking about, we could mentally put them in positions where they don't need to be in. You see what I'm saying? Because they working so hard to put themselves in a position of basically trying to please us, and at the same token make money at the same time. So, I mean, shit. I don't know, man. I feel like some fighters can, they go through depression. You know what I'm saying? And depression's a real thing.
So fighters going through depression. I mean, what does that have to do with Jake Paul making money though?
I mean, well, you got to look at it. I mean, they're making because the way. Okay, but basically what I'm saying is what you were saying. Like I'm piggybacking off what you were saying. How the fighters. We're not holding him accountable. But these fighters might be looking at it from another position too. Like, damn, he's making all this money, but we ain't making money, and we work twice as hard.
Yeah.
That's why I say it like that. You see what I'm saying? Because that could be depressing to them. You see what I'm saying? Like they're not making the money, and they're busting their ass to make this money, and they're still getting shitted on. You see what I'm saying? They can't just walk into the room, and because they have one of the best stats out there, they can't walk in the room and all eyes on them. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, Blue, they can't walk in the room without somebody saying you ain't making no more money than Jake Paul.
Yeah. Basically,
you know what I'm saying?
Jake Paul
That's
walks
some
in
crazy shit.
Yeah, if Jake Paul walks in right after they walk in, all attention is on him.
Absolutely. That's a solid point. Absolutely. And that's one of my points of criticism is that I don't care about the money, but Jake Paul is going to be in the same presence, in the same attendance as some of these real fighters. And they're going to just say, forget that. So-and-so ain't really exciting anyway. Let's go over here to Jake Paul and see what he has to say, because he always has something crazy to say. All because he's a promoter. Yep. He's made his money from Vines. Now he's making millions in boxing. I ain't mad at none of that. It's just, you had Bruce Carrington on this fight, right? Shoo.
Yep.
Did anybody talk about Shoo's fight? No. Nobody talked about that fight.
I think I heard one person criticize Shoo and say that he wasn't up to par.
But Shoo took the fight because it was a check that he probably liked, but he didn't get no airtime. Yeah. What was the best fight on that card to you?
The best fight, I would have to say, I would say it was the William Cepeda fight.
The William Cepeda fight?
Hold on, that wasn't on that card. I'm
The
sorry.
Williams Cepeda fight wasn't.
No, it was on the other one. I apologize. I meant I think it was God damn, I'm like blanked. I watched all the damn fights.
I was gonna. I just asked you because I thought Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano was the best fight.
So I like that fight, but I didn't like the fight because I felt like it was just too much headbutting going on. That's just where I honestly stand on that one. You know,
I mean, the headbutting was coming from Katie Taylor though.
Yeah, that's my main point, and that's why I didn't really like the fight. I think it was the other fight that was on the card that was a close fight, a real close fight. It was God, I can't think of his name. Their names. Who? Oh my, I really got a brain fart on who it was. Who was the other main card that was the other God damn. It was the one right before Katie Taylor.
I know you ain't talking about Barrios and Ramos.
I mean, well,
you talking about Barrios getting beat up?
That fight was better than the fucking.
No, it wasn't better than freaking.
Yeah,
Taylor
I thought that was the better.
So okay. I respect. First of all, I respect you going there because it was a lot more like both fighters was dropped. You know what I'm saying? Both fighters with canvas and shit like that. But the only reason I put Serrano and Katie because it was for undisputed. It was a hell of a fight. It was nonstop action. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just felt with Barrios and Ramos was that I expected a lot more out of Barrios being the champion, the previous champion, former champion, 140. Been in there with some names like Thurman, Gervonta Davis, and so forth. And he goes in here and he just let Ramos, man, just beat him up again. Like, that's not the first time we've seen, Barrios beat up, but bro, see, he's taking too much punishment, man.
You're right. But see, I expected that from him, but I didn't expect it to happen like that. That's why I was honestly thinking that Barrios could have won that fight. You see what I'm saying? I
didn't think Ramos was gonna give him that much trouble.
Yeah, I didn't either, because especially how they downplayed him on the intro too when he was coming in. They were like, yeah, he has a school, or he owns a gym or something like that, or something on those lines. He owns a gym, or he's part of a gym, helps run a gym or something like that, and he's coming over there, and he's a good fighter. And they said right then and there too, they said this is going to be a great fight. But when the fight first started off, it wasn't like that. He started out slow, and I honestly feel like if he would have warmed, maybe he didn't warm up properly. That's what I was thinking. Maybe he didn't warm up properly, or he just couldn't figure out Barrios when he first started. You see what I'm saying? He couldn't figure him out that quickly. But if he would have had a faster start, I think he would have been able to really pull it off, because he came back strong and was putting them hands and feet all over him. He was doing what he had to do. That's why I was like, look at him. He can actually win this fight. But they gave it to Barrios, which I understood. He went to decision. So if you want to beat the champion or somebody the A side, you got to basically make it. You have to show that you whoop their ass in order to basically get that call.
Well, I think Ramos, if you're talking about wearing the fight, Barrios wore the fight, Ramos wore the fight.
Yeah. That's why I said I wasn't mad on either way. If Ramos would have won, I wouldn't have no problem with it, and I didn't have a problem with Barrios winning either.
This is another discrepancy that I felt in that fight too, heading in there, is that Abel Ramos had lost to Yordenis Ugas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Mario Barrios, he beat Yordenis Ugas. So I'm like, a common opponent. Ugas has been in there with some top names. I felt, Ramos losing, Mario Barrios winning. Barrios should have the edge going in here with Ramos, but styles make fights, and also the planning process too prevents peaceful performances. So I don't know, bro. Like, this shit with Jake Paul, you got dudes up here just praising the shit out of him just because he's making money, but yet you can praise him all you want. That's fine. But now you're putting him in the conversation with fighters who's getting drug tested, fighters who have to live by the boxing standard. You're having Jake Paul out here. They're not providing him with no standard. They just up here
Yeah,
kissing ass, bro.
yeah, and that's why I'm gonna be honest with you. I was really surprised. I felt like that's a slap in the boxing's face how they made this fight even real. You know what I'm saying?
Modified
They
rules,
modify.
like
Yeah, exactly.
sanctioning. And
And,
Blunt
and
Blunt said in the chat, man, that Oliver McCall, 59 years of age, is going down in Nashville.
huh.
He's fighting in Nashville, 59. So I've put this out there before. I've seen one of the oldest fighters at the time. He was 60 plus years old, get sanctioned by a fight. He didn't make it out the second round.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put his name out there. I know the cat, but he was sanctioned in a region.
Mm.
And he was 60. So, but what I wanted to mention was that how do you feel about the Andre Wards, the Beterbievs, the Daniel Dubois, you know, and many others who's, you know, pleading and begging for a fight with Jake Paul?
Oh man, I want to see them get in the ring and tear his head off, but at the same token, I'm like, I don't want to sound like I'm hating, but it's gonna come off like that. But I don't want to see him keep getting these paydays like
But how
this. I
would you
just don't
feel if
want.
Andre Ward? I don't know how much you are a fan of Andre Ward there, Blue, but it's probably enough to know that the brother retired undefeated gold medalist and
Exactly. Yep.
has some memorable fights, right? Him take the
Yeah.
Jake Paul fight and get
Yeah,
beat
because he's retired. Oh
and
man,
get
that
beat.
wouldn't. I don't think that would happen. But yeah, that would be
Okay.
crazy.
Once again, like I said for this fight, he's the
Yeah.
promoter and he's the main event.
Mhm.
Why you don't see that happening?
I mean, you speaking some facts because the whole time he's getting paid. Shit, you
He's
can't
getting
knock him out.
paid a huge payday. Andre is
Yeah.
going to come back. He still has a praising value. You know, his boxing FICO is still
Mm-hmm.
high enough for him to get that check. That look, hey Blue, that pre-approval loan and going into that fight. You know what I'm saying? We like your boxing FICO, Mr. Ward. Yes, you've been pre-approved for
No
15
documents.
million.
No docs.
You know what I'm saying? For real, no docs. It pre-approved. We're gonna send it via email. All you got to do is just docu-sign it, and that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
But if Jake Paul beats Andre Ward, would you look at Andre Ward like you did before, him just being out of the sport undefeated, for him to come back? Would we assume that it was a desperate attempt by Andre to come back and get a big fight and get a big paycheck to sacrifice that O?
Yeah. 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 That comes with the territory. That comes with the territory. I mean, you can't have both. Have it both ways. Being Andre Ward in that position, you got to accept the fact that people are going to sit there and say that you came back. We all know that he should beat him up hands down. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, because Andre Ward, I believe he's still training. I believe he's still out there doing what he's got to do. So, well, my personal opinion about it.
How old is?
I
Let me
believe.
see. Let me look him up right quick.
Yeah, because Andre Ward is a great fighter, man. A lot of people wanted to see his downfall. They wanted to see him lose. You know, he always kept proving it. He always kept overcoming in great fashion too.
But you believe, like I put out there, if Jake Paul is the promoter and the main event, they're not going to give Andre Ward some special instructions like they gave Mike?
So I do believe this, that yes they would, but if it's somebody that's on equal playing field, you see what I'm saying, and has that pull, just like Jake does, like seriously, it's like real, like let's just say Ryan Garcia and Jake Paul go out. So Ryan Garcia could actually go in there and say, look, whoever gets knocked out gets knocked out. I'm not going to do the contract. Otherwise, I won't even fight you. Because that would be a super payday for him, too.
He's fighting them for a payday, though.
But Ryan can make his own money because he has his own fan base. He does
Oh,
not
you're
need
talking
Jake.
about Ryan. Okay.
Yeah. That's I was just the comparison with Ryan. You see what I'm saying? That would be on the same even playing field to where he could go in there and say, nah, look here. I fought Tank and I got the A side. You know what I'm saying? Like I was A side pretty much. But he was A side, but I got the money.
Fighter though. That's an
but
active fighter. We got to bring him more to reality of the fight, the resume that Jake Paul is hosting right now. We got to bring in more so reality of old over the hill. We can't bring the fresh young lions that's still in the pride. You know, Ryan Garcia's still in the pride. He's still young. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I'll be honest with you. I don't want to see these fights no more.
But
That's just my first.
you're gonna have to see him, just like you was talking. You say you was talking on Mill City, right? You're
Yeah,
gonna watch the fight because you're gonna have these cats out here, you know, want to be a part of the circus, bro. They want to talk about Jake
yeah,
Paul making this, you know, 60 plus million. Like Mike Tyson didn't have shit to do with that.
exactly. Like he did it all himself.
Yeah, like Mike didn't have nothing to
Oh
do
my
with that
god.
Netflix freaking numbers and shit, man. Come on, bro. Y'all disrespecting, but yet y'all clowning out at the same time.
Yeah, right. It's I don't know, man. It's quite this. I'm a little. I'm not really feeling like I understand boxing, but I just feel like it has to stop somewhere. Like, you know, put him in the ring. We put him. He got put in the ring with Tommy Fury. You know what I'm saying? And you see what happened. You see the results of that.
Correct.
But once he had that fight, he should have kept trying to, you know, fight the same caliber or better. And he's not doing that. You see what I'm saying? Or right up under it.
And that's my point. Caliber,
Mm-hmm.
quality. Okay. I mean, why if you got Tommy Fury was never even close to being in the rankings. You're talking about a fighter that used to be a bodybuilder, but yet has the Fury, you know, lineage.
Yeah.
That's all that
Mm-hmm.
is. He got in there because he has a Fury name and shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
and he won the fight. But
And they really, I bet you they really thought they was going to take that fight too.
who? Paul?
Jake Paul. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Fury's people really set a standard like, no, we're not gonna play your freaking games.
Mm-hmm.
Go in there and fight. We ain't gonna be your whooping fool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna do that shit. We the Furies.
Oh shit.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. OG Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz some more. What's good? What's good with it, Bruce? Hey Bruce, if you got time, man, I would definitely like to kind of hear, you know, I was talking about Jack Johnson and you know, how back then he was pretty much you know, his fight with James Jeffrey, how they called him out, you know, from retirement to go in there and fight, you
Yeah.
know, and consider him to be the great white hope and everything. Yeah, you know, I was just talking to Bruce Gas. You know, he pretty much lived back in that century of boxing, knows a lot of freaking boxing knowledge about that. But that's always been interesting to me how Jack Johnson, you know, back through all the racism and everything back then,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, how he was the reigning heavyweight champion. They called a former undefeated heavyweight champion who's been out 5.5+ years to come back and take the title. And look, Blue, they scheduled the shit for 45 rounds, bro.
Yeah.
They scheduled that
Yeah.
shit for 45 rounds, man.
Yeah. Hey, my fault on having to back out, but my headset be messing up now, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy another headset. So that's why I back up because it goes into a high pitched ringing noise. But yeah,
No,
so I
I
have to
haven't.
leave and come back. You know who
Did
I
you
want to see?
hold on
You
for
want
a
to know
second,
who I?
Blue? Hold on for a
Yeah.
second. Hey, Conquest, did you leave it on IG or something? Because you put it on IG, I can pull it up on IG right quick or whatever. But let me check because I don't see nothing highlighted. Where did you see it at? I can pull it up from there. He just asked me, did I see Jake Paul's mission statement? Yeah, go ahead, Blue.
Now the fight I want to see is between Jake Paul. I want to see Hakeem Rockman Jr. I want to see him
Um,
fight. I want to see that fight. I think he can pull it off because they were going at it before. Remember,
yeah, and he
they
didn't
had
take the
Static,
fight
and then he
though.
was Well, no, he oh yeah, that is right. He didn't take. No, I thought Jake Paul backed out. If I'm correct.
No, man, they picked somebody else. They was trying to say that Hakeem Rothman Jr. backed out, but they spoke to him. They said, "No, I ain't back out." They picked
Yeah,
another
that's what I
opponent.
was. Thank you, thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Because at the time, he was trying to go between. He was trying to fight him or Fury. Remember, if I'm
Correct.
correct.
Yeah.
And then yeah. So that's why I said I want to see, because Hakeem, right after he won that fight against Mike Tyson, he started talking shit to him again. And I would like to see. I think he don't want to get in the fight, get in the ring with him, because he knows, how Junior hits kind of hard.
I think Hakeem Rothman Jr. would do the same thing that everybody else is getting a big paycheck. He would follow the rules. I mean, just think about it. Nobody's really calling his name right now. Yes, he's helped out with sparring. He's helped
Mm-hmm.
several fighters with sparring and stuff like that. But for Jake Paul to call his name, he'll follow the orders. He'll follow the orders.
Um, yeah, he probably would, but I hope he
Hey,
wouldn't though, because
I'm surprised Jalen Love ain't goddamn been an opponent of Jake Paul yet. And he on the team.
hey,
I'm just
look,
saying. I'm just saying.
look,
I'm surprised he ain't been an opponent. And them trying to script like they had a falling out, and now he's the next opponent. Get out of here.
hey, it's scripted. That shit's all WWE, man. That's how I feel about it when it comes to these fights. That's why I was just blown away on how they made it to where that fight was a real fight between
Yeah.
Mike Tyson. I just was blown away. I was like, oh, seriously, like that just doesn't make any sense. And that's why the reason why boxing is going the way it is right now. Shit like that type shit. That type of stuff. It needs more. It needs a character brought back into it. It needs more substance, and it's losing its substance, man. With
You talking
entertainment
about
like
boxing?
that. Yeah, with entertainment like that.
I mean, it's
Like
been
we're.
like that. That's why the fans are pretty bored. So
Mm-hmm,
whenever something
mm-hmm,
different that they can jump on board with, they'll do it. And now they get to a point where they just don't have no integrity about it. They just gonna go along with the flow. They say,
yeah.
okay, Jake Paul's bumping right now. Cool. Let's talk about Jake Paul. But before
Yep.
that, it was all about the beef of Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. It was all about the racist shit that was going on with Teofimo. Now all of a
Yeah.
sudden they talking about freaking Jake Paul is the boxer of the hour.
The
Tomahawk
face.
power.
Hey, the face of boxing. I don't believe it.
The face of motherfucking boxer. Boy, Vine star.
Hmm. I don't know how he is, but they putting him up there. It's what we come to. That's why I say, man, we just need to make boxing great again, and I think that Oscar De La Hoya selling the Ring magazine rights to the Sheik. He just did that because he wanted to basically bump shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Have some brownie points with the Sheik. In a way, is
I,
in
I
my
mean,
personal opinion, that's
she got
smart.
the money.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, why not come off something for more than what you bought it for?
Hmm.
Supposedly per what the price tag he put on there, he made 3 million off the buy, which I think is more than that. But tax purpose and all that shit, he just want to put
Hmm.
10 million out there.
Yeah.
And I agree. It's good. De La Hoya, he don't have too much going on. Didn't he say he wanted to sell Golden Boy for 100 million?
Oh shit! I didn't hear that, but if you
Yeah, he
did, that's
wanted to sell
crazy.
Golden Boy for 100 million or something like that.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know if it'll praise it that, but I don't
I
know.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But
That is crazy.
it is what it is, man. I'm like when you say make boxing great again, when the last time you think boxing been great though?
Oh man, it's been a while. It's been a while, man.
I mean, around what year you think?
Um,
Just guessing. Just guessing.
You know what? I'd have to say when I feel like when Don King was around, was really around when he was doing his thing, he was always going back and forth with the other promoters and everything like
I
that.
mean,
Even though he
fighting
might have
wise,
treated his
yeah, with promoter fighting wise, we say 70s, 80s,
yeah,
90s.
just where
What?
the fights were happening, you know, the promoters made the fights even if they didn't like each other, they still made the fights if the people demanded it, you know. But they also were scheming. It
Yeah.
was they were scheming big time, but the fights were happening, you know. If a person lost their O, it wasn't the end of the world, you know. So that's I guess that's where I look at it as, you know, when the times were great. Just in my opinion, you know. It
I mean, well, you can still get fights without an O being on your record.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? If that was the case, Canelo would have never blossomed into what he was been able to accomplish after losing to Floyd. You know, I mean, he was able to excel off that one loss, and he took that early in his career. But
but he was staged to be in that position though.
I mean,
He
people
was
say
built to
he was
he was
staged,
built
but
to
he
be
got
in
his
that.
ass beat by Floyd though.
Yeah, but he was still built to be in that position because how it went out. You know what I'm saying? Like for like when Floyd fought Connor, you see what I'm saying? That to me, that was I was like, why is this fight happening? It's not a real fight, but it still went down, and it still made no sense to me. But people still. That's when I was like, this is garbage. Like, what are we like? I don't know. I just feel like where are we going with boxing? That's where to me it really started right there. Like, where are we going with boxing?
I have to, disagree because boxing has had worse fights, crossovers than that. They have
hmm
had made they, like Lala Zato back in the day. Um, he fought back in the day, a football player, and then it's been exhibition fights throughout. But I didn't really look at the Conor McGregor fight with Floyd being worse because the age difference. You know what I'm saying? There was an extreme age difference between Conor McGregor and Floyd. But when you
I
talk
guess.
about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, even though it's been just a little several years of him coming off the fight with Roy Jones Jr., it was just 58 years old, 27 years old. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about 30-year difference. It's crazy.
Well, I see what you're saying, but I feel like it does make sense, and from my point of view, and the only reason why is because the simple fact is the fight is a real fight. First of all, you see what I'm saying? It's not a fight that's going all the way. It's a scripted fight. Both those fights were scripted. You see what I'm saying? Because we all know Floyd Mayweather carried Conor McGregor in that fight. You know, because
But
he
but
is
it
not.
wasn't scripted. Just because he carried him, it wasn't scripted, so to speak. Like scripted to me, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you can say it's scripted if he carried him because freaking Jake
Yeah,
Paul kind of carried. But when I mean scripted, it's like you can't throw uppercuts. You can't do this. I mean, Conor was trying everything. He was rabbit punching Floyd. He was doing everything in that motherfucker. I don't think they had no special rules where, hey, you can't throw this punch on Floyd. I think Floyd knew how much better he was. Yes, he carried him, but yeah,
well, I
I,
guess
I,
I
I
mean,
guess you could say yeah, it was scripted, but I was looking at it more so like what you can't do.
yeah. So I mean, I guess see, we're both looking at it from the same way, but different ways in actuality. Because I'm looking at it from the point of view like, okay, it's a fight that we know he should win, and he should be able to take him out easily. But he's playing with his food. You see what I'm saying? And he's getting the most money for playing with his food. You see what I'm saying? It's not a 50-50 fight. Now, if it's a
Who's
fight
getting the
where
most money for playing with his food?
Floyd and Jake when they were fighting, you know, Jake fighting Mike Tyson, He was playing with. To me, in a way, it looked. You can either take it as this: he carried him, or he basically was playing with his food, or, and I'm talking about Jake Paul because we know that's what Floyd did. You see what I'm saying? But with Jake Paul, you can say that he carried him. He was playing with his food, or you can say that he was really trying to go all out. He just was skeptical. He was skeptical. He didn't want to get hit with his power. You see what I'm saying? So that's why he had it scripted to where you see what I'm saying? He had certain stipulations that he couldn't. You can't throw the uppercut. You can't do this. This is something I don't have to worry about. You see what I'm saying? All I have to worry about is your hooks and your jab and your cross.
I just felt like with Conor McGregor, they didn't take nothing out. If Floyd was up there carrying him, cool. But I didn't see like the special rules. It was 3 minutes per round, and it was a regular scheduled fight. You know what I'm saying? But with this Jake Paul fight, 50-50 wouldn't even come into the equation. You're talking about, you know what I'm saying? It was 50 in there that blew. It was 58 years old. That's the 50% that he was dealing with. But what I mean by it was just like certain things Mike couldn't do in there in the fight.
Yeah.
That to me saying it was predetermined. That Jake Paul was gonna win, but with Conor McGregor fight, it wasn't predetermined in my opinion. It's the fact that Floyd showed people that, hey, I'm better than this guy, even though he's the 2-division champion in the UFC right now. I'm better boxing than he ever will be. Because Conor McGregor, a lot of people don't know this. Conor McGregor boxed before he came into the UFC. He was never professional. He was never professional, but he boxed amateur. And then he said, "Nah, fuck this. I'm going to mixed martial arts." So he went into mixed martial arts as a professional, and he came over to the UFC already with 2 losses. So, I mean, he has some type of unique boxing skills, but MMA boxing is different than regular boxing.
Correct, 100%.
Jessica say, how was it a real fight but scripted? I think she was asking about what you said, that it was a real fight that blew.
Which one she talking about? Oh, shit.
I guess you said it was a real fight, but it was scripted. So
well,
I think you said that about freaking I don't know if you said about Jake Paul and Tyson though.
Jake Paul, no. I mean, okay, so I guess you might have been talking to the reference when I was saying that the second part, what I was saying, that he was trying to go all out, but he was like it was just a scripted fight. That's basically what I was saying. It wasn't a real fight. None of those fights to me was real. So I don't recall saying that those fights, and if I did, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, it was just crazy that you had oversized gloves, 2-minute rounds.
Yep.
And it goes on his BoxRec, man.
Yeah,
Mike
and that's
Tyson
one
is on his BoxRec.
And that's one reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. Like it's sad, man. I feel like that fight, like how did they even sanction that fight? How did they let that fight be real? Like how much money did Jake say, here, take this money? I want this fight. How much money did he give them for that? Like, come on, man, that makes no sense. That should have just been an exhibition. That's all it should have been, regardless.
But in order for them to have it on, I mean, even though they had some exhibitions on the real fight card, I guess they wanted to sell it as, a real fight. And thank God Mike made it up out of there. I think he still, for the 2 minutes he was in there, just moving around, 58 years of age, juice to the motherfucking gills, motherfucking goddamn. Hey, he made it to the final bell, bro. Andrew Charles, what's good? Jake doesn't have the experience or skills to play with his food. Hey, man, when we was babies, we used to play with our food a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jake Paul been around enough boxers to understand how that whole process worked with moving around, acting like you're going to throw a shot and don't all the fainting and shit. I mean, they learned that shit in sport.
Yeah, he's got the skills to do that, man. He's got the skills for real. Trust me. He's got the skills, man. They wouldn't be paying him this money. He's a good actor. They wouldn't be paying him
good actor, bro. I agree with that.
They wouldn't be paying him this money for him to be out there if he didn't have skills. You see what I'm saying? You got to have some kind of skills to be able to. That's acting what he's doing. You know, when he's up there promoting himself and doing all that and talking how he's talking, that's all acting. He's acting up there. That's, I mean, I don't know if it's 100, you know, if he has any like real, if he's being real up there at all, but he might, but the majority of it's acting. You see what I'm saying? He's getting up there putting on a show.
That's just crazy that, you know, we even have a conversation about it.
I know.
I mean, as if it's real or not. But like I said, the man got paid. Mike got paid. But
Yeah.
my only thing is Mike Tyson is on Jake Paul's resume now. It's almost like Jake Paul has a resume of dinosaurs. So what they should do now is make a small screenplay and goddamn, you know, do something like Jurassic Park but with Jake Paul's resume. You know what I'm saying? All the old boxers, that he have on the dinosaur bone collection. You know, that's what he should do, bro.
Yeah. How much you think? How much the Iron Mike get paid?
20 million. I heard 20 million. That's a pretty good amount of money for 16 minutes, bro.
Fuck yeah, that. Oh my god.
For 16 minutes, 20 million.
I heard he had a minor
modified rules, man.
Did he have a modified stroke?
What
before
you mean?
The fight? I heard somebody say that. I don't know if it's true, but did he have a stroke right before his fight? Like
I didn't hear that. I heard the reason why he dropped out the other time because he had blood clots or some shit. You know?
Yeah, I remember that part, but I heard that he had a minor stroke, and that's the reason why he was biting his glove, because he was going through it. You know what I'm saying?
No, they say he was biting his glove because, you know, Mike said it was something he do all the time, but they were saying he was doing it just so he wouldn't, you know, throw that left hand. I don't know, bro. That's what happened when you have a scripted. Shout out to Surfile Player. What's good? What's good? Conquest said YouTube press conference just hit different. Man, please stop. I mean, if you kept hitting rewind when Mike was goddamn grabbing his junk, man, please.
Yeah, bro, that was crazy. And then Netflix was fucking up, bro. Netflix was fucking up. Like when you seen like how like the cameraman's right there. You don't know that he doesn't have shorts on. Mike Tyson doesn't know. Like it's like Mike knew what he was doing when he walked in and turned around. You see his butt cheeks hanging out. It's like, come on, bro. Like the cameraman's right there. Like that doesn't make any sense. They did that
shit on purpose. It's almost
that's what
like
I'm saying.
Selling. They exploit it. Like they talk about women all the time, exploiting women. You know, sex sales, right? They up there, goddamn, just hoeing the old dinosaur out, bro. Nigga grabbed this freaking shit and then goddamn up there giving the interview and walk away with no shorts on. Why?
Yeah, like what?
Nigga, put some trunks on, bro.
Like I didn't understand that. Like what? Like you guys know what's going on. Like look. You could be anywhere, bro. I don't care where. I don't care who was in that room, that locker room right then and there. There had to be somebody say, "Hey, you know we're about to go live." Somebody had to say something.
No, they probably said, "Hey, we about to go live, man. This is gonna be hilarious." Hey, Mike, you okay? You're not gonna put on no trunks? No, I'm not gonna put on any trunks. I'm gonna show my ass today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna show my ass.
Oh
They're gonna see my black ass today. 20 million? Yeah. Motherfucker walking around here with a goddamn waist protector on and shit and no drawers.
Yeah, that's what I was like, man, are you serious? Like, what the fuck? Like, man, kids is watching shit like that. It's on Netflix. Come on, man. Like, and this shit was free.
That's the lack of censorship we have today. You know, that's why on here, right? You know, I do reaction to like the dating shows and shit. And motherfuckers act like you're doing something like you're supposed to be talking about the same shit on boxing all the time. I'm like, bro, this shit get boring. And then y'all act like y'all don't want to hear a grown-ass man talk about women. But y'all want to talk about Mike Tyson and his ashy butt cheeks being out freaking for the public to see. You know what I'm saying? Like he couldn't put on some trunks. Hey, Mike, let me slide these on. Everybody in that motherfucking room know they was gonna do an interview and be live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like that made no fucking sense, bro. Like how could that even take place? Like how did that happen with nobody? Like, come on, man. No tact whatsoever, bro.
I'm gonna
No
tell you
tact
some shit
whatsoever.
that blew that that crossed my mind too, right? You know how they
Mm-hmm.
always talk about in Hollywood, how they always embarrassing when they cross over to the Illuminati and the secret society and all that shit. How you always see something of nudity and provocative shit to go on with these people that like John Cena, for instance, how he came out at the wars and he was butt naked, he had a hat over his freaking groin and shit, or
Wow.
just people just being exploited like that. That
Yeah.
almost that situation right there almost was like the same thing. Like, in order
Mm-hmm.
for you to make it to the next level, you need to do something for us. So he came out there with his drawers on, that the way in,
Yeah.
and then he showed his ass in on fight day. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro,
Grabbing his shit. Like, come on, man. Like, this is like that didn't make no. Why did you grab your shit? I can see if he's doing that. Look. It ain't even cool to be doing that towards Jake Paul. Like, suck my dick, attitude. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But that ain't even cool. But at least if he was doing it in that direction towards Jake Paul, it's like I could see. Oh, he's selling the fight. But you ain't selling the fight doing that shit, bro. And it still ain't okay doing it like that then either, trying to sell a fight. That shit still ain't okay. But you're not doing that. You're literally standing in front of you're weighing in and you're grabbing your shit, bro. Like, what are you doing that for? You know what I'm saying? Like,
And,
it
and
just,
you don't hear hardly anybody on this motherfucker holding him accountable for that shit. Like with kids, like you said, kids watching and all that.
yeah,
Motherfucker grabbing his junk and shit. But yet you get on here and you wonder why all these motherfuckers talking about suck my D and all that. Cause Mike up here grabbing his shit. You know
yes.
what I'm saying? And people want to goddamn replay him walking with no drawers on. I'm like, y'all don't talk about women no more.
Yeah,
Like y'all think that's odd. That's eccentric. But you'll talk about a nigga walking around with no damn drawers on forever.
man, it's crazy, brother. I it's wild. It's very, very wild, and the way that things are happening and changing so much to where however your sexuality, however you feel about your sexuality is how you feel. But it's becoming it's being promoted so much to where it's like you're supposed to be this. You're supposed to be a certain kind of way now. You see what I'm saying? Like they want you to be like going to the mindset of a unisex mindset. You see what I'm saying? I don't understand it. I'm confused because back in the day it wasn't like that. If a person was like that, you know what I'm saying? They respected themselves and they let it be known. You know what I mean? Or they didn't. They kept behind closed door. Now it's just out in the open, and it just seems like this is what it's supposed to be. If you feel like this is what it is. Be okay with it, and we're gonna promote the hell out of it. So I don't. To each his own. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. But yeah, it's being shoved down your throats now in a way to where it's mind blowing to me. Like that shit, like nobody said nothing to Mike Tyson, bro. Like, Mike, put some fucking clothes on, bro. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? That shit is not okay.
Nobody ain't said that shit, man. Anyway, change the subject though. Who
Yeah.
you got for David Benavidez and David Morrell, the two Davids?
I want to see. I feel like David Benavidez, great fighter. You know, punches and bunches. Uh, Not the best defense, but he has a good enough defense to where he could throw punches and bunches. He knows how to move. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. He does keep his head on the line every once in a while. But I feel like David Morrell, I think he could beat him. I think he could beat him. So I would say that fight is
Wow.
like a 55-45. I'll say 60-40.
55-45, David
I'll say
Morrell.
no, 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 no. I'm saying I'm going for Benavidez. I'm
Oh,
saying
okay.
I just feel like David Burrell has a chance in actually going in there and upsetting, what I'm saying, Benavidez. If he can go in there and just stick to the script and do what he's got to do, I think he can win that fight. But David Benavidez, he's a dog, and he's gonna keep coming and coming. You know, he's got that grit. So
It's gonna be interesting in the early parts. That's where Morrell is most strongest. I've seen him kind of wither, just fade just a little bit in his last fight, mid fight to the later round. So we'll see what's popping, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you pulling up, man. I gotta
oh, most
bounce.
definitely, man.
You know what
Yeah, I
I'm saying?
appreciate you having me on here, man. Opening up a panel.
Yeah, you rolled through. I said, hey, I guess that's my sign. Let me put the link in there. You know, I'm just saying because it ain't too much to talk about except the same shit that's
Yeah,
going on with this gossip about Boots Ennis and now all of a sudden Rashidi Ellis want to get in the mix and Norman Jr. and they got the back and forth. It's good build up, but is the fight gonna
yeah.
happen?
But okay, let me ask you this: who do you feel wins that fight, though? Real quick,
Which one?
Rashidi Ellis and Norman.
I got Norman, man. The
I
reason
feel
why I
like.
got Norman is
Go
that
ahead.
Rashidi is freaking inactive. First of all,
Yeah.
he's inactive as shit, bro. And
Mhm.
Norman Jr. got some crazy power for real. I know people are still looking at it like they don't know that dude when he spars, man. He's intense. I always say it because I seen him in Tank spar. I seen him in Bud spar. I seen him spar Jahad Tucker. I seen him in several sparring sessions. He got real legitimate power, and I'm not sure if he grown into his grown man strength yet. I'm not sure yet. He's
Mm.
still young, man.
Yeah,
I think he has a chance to knock Boots out if he catch him early in the fight.
I do
You know what
too.
I'm saying?
I
He
do
can knock
too.
Boots out, bro.
And I think he could knock out Rashidi Ellis too. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Rashidi folded against what's the name? His last fight. He folded. You know what I'm saying? He got
Yeah.
tired. Doing shit like I won't say he was showboating, but he got tired. But yeah, that's all I was trying to ask you. I just wanted to see your opinion about that, man. I think we're on the basically same page when it comes to that. Yeah, because everybody's counting Norman out. You know what I'm saying? Brian Norman
I mean,
Jr.
he
out.
got Quavers next. I think Brian. He
Hmm.
got Quavers next year, early. I think early semester 2025, and then we don't know what's gonna happen next. Boots is basically living a storm right now. A storm that he wasn't really. He was able to get away with the storm because he was fighting shitty competition.
Hmm.
Now that certain players in the game have since moved on, and he can't clout chase Crawford no more. He's
Yeah,
been exposed, but he got
yeah,
exposed by a fighter that can actually fight. Korean can fight,
yeah, yeah.
and he wasn't running around the ring that second fight.
No, he was. That's why. Remember, we talked about this before. That's why I said I'm
Yeah,
surprised when he stood
yeah,
his ground. I'm like, whoa, he's
yeah. He
actually
stood his
standing his
ground.
ground and throwing punches with him
I just wonder how
Boots.
much shock value did it send the Boots to say, because Boots was on record as saying, "Oh, they ain't gonna change anything." I just thought that was
Hmm.
just so immature for him to say that. Like, you don't let them know that what your belief is. You think that
Yeah,
they're gonna come in with the same game plan, and then what happened? The opening bell, that dude right there in your motherfucking face. I
yeah.
mean, were they expecting that shit though?
Nah, they wasn't. They wasn't. They took him for granted a little bit, But hey, Bozy said that he trained for everything.
Yeah, right.
whatever, whatever he do, we ready for it.
They train for every style. What every style? That's what I like somebody to do. Hey, if you out there and you know every style, please do a live on. I want to check out every style.
Yeah, that part.
I want to check
Most
out
definitely.
every style so I can get an understanding of the sweet signs. What's every style?
I want to see this live.
For real, I
Somebody
want to see
come
that
through.
live, man. For real.
But
But
no,
hey,
I
appreciate you,
appreciate
Boo,
you,
for
brother.
pulling up, dog.
Yeah, you already know, brother. Have a good
All
one,
right,
man. Stay,
be safe
stay
out there.
good.
Yeah.
You'll be easy.
Shout out to the hottest chat in the game, man. Appreciate y'all as always. One love, everyone that pulled up for this. Um, be understanding that we're gonna keep an eye on the Vine star, Jake Paul, as he continue to be very selective on his opponents and everything, and see who's the next person to come in. Will I be happy if Andre Ward got the call up? I don't know, man. I'm split because it'd be good for him to get that nice payday. I think Andre's a good guy, good person in general, but I really don't want to see him go in there and look like he's fighting Sergey Kovalev, and make Jake Paul get all this more elevation to him being a legitimate fighter because he fought a retired Andre Ward, who's now 40 years of age. You know what I'm saying? 18 years younger than Mike. But I'm talking about just the gold medal, the undefeated record. I don't know, man. I really don't want to see him in the modifieds match fight. None of that. But big shout out to y'all. Hold it down. Continue to support the channel. I'm out.